this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how to make a simple small grid so you can draw just one small feature of a face. Just to begin the process, you want to take your printout of the face you're working with and create a 1 inch by 1 inch grid across the entire thing. Unless you know you're just going to focus in on one part of the face, and you just make sure that you have a grid over top of that one area. So then in your sketchbook paper or your paper that you're going to be using to draw, you just need to make a grid that covers up the part of the face in which you're drawing. So if I'm going to draw an eye here, I'd have to figure out how many squares the eye fits into. So the actual eyeball is in all 4 of these squares right here, but if I want to add the eyebrow in as well, I could include the 2 squares up here. So I would probably make a 6 square grid, 3 by 2 here. And to begin this process, you need to figure out where on the paper you want the grid. And I wouldn't put it up in a corner or up by the side. I would have it somewhere in the middle of the paper. So in order to start this process, I would just begin by placing my ruler at the edge of the paper by lining up 0 with the left edge. And because I don't want the grid to start right here on the edge of the paper, I'm just going to come in a couple inches to begin the grid. So I'm going to start with 2 inches. And because I know I'm going to be going over just 2 squares, because it was 6, 2 across, 3 up and down, you just need to make 3 marks going that way. Then lower your ruler. Once again, make sure that the 0 is lined up with the edge. That way they're all nice and square. And then remember the numbers you used, 2, 3, 4, just like this. And then you can make your lines going through these marks. I would make these nice and light so that you don't see them in your drawing, but because I lined up the ruler with 0 at the edge of the page for both sets of marks, now they're perfectly parallel and they're also square to the edges of the paper. Then you want to turn your paper this way, and we need to make 3 squares going across this way now. So it doesn't really matter where you start your ruler at, as long as you start with the same spot every time. So right now I'm starting at 6 right here. And I'm going to simply go over a couple this way, and then make sure it doesn't move. And then I want to make sure I have 3 squares. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So that'll give me 3 squares that way. Bring the ruler down. Once again, make sure it's lined up with the same inch you started on, 6. I came over 2, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. Just like that. And then you simply connect the dots. And once you do this, you're left with a small grid that's not on the edge of the paper, that is perfectly parallel and perpendicular, and now I have my 6 squares.